All right, welcome to the Train of Thought. I am your host, your conductor, Alex Dumas. So here we are on this train of love, of inspiration, of exploration, and I have someone on board today, someone who is a wonderful passenger who is looking to play the game with me. So I have Amla Mehta, and I appreciate you, Amla, for being here and being open to this conversation. And for those of you who are watching right now, Amla has been, I'm gonna say brave enough, but she has been inspired enough to see if we had the Amla inspires, inspired enough to have me explore her thoughts and in the sense of coaching, of creating, doing what I do, and experiencing that for herself. So Amla, great morning as we're recording this, and great to see you.
Great to see you. Happy spring to all of you.
Yes, yes, happy spring. So we're gonna get right into the stuff. So Amla, what would make this call really useful for you today?
Okay, so that's a really great question. I am going through some transition periods. Just a little bit of a background. I'm a speaker and an author, and my main message, which is something to do with what I need to explore today with you, is to my main message for all beings is to shine authentically despite any adversity and or difficulty. And we all have a challenge in this world, right? Mine happens to be physical. I'm losing my vision, meaning currently I see through fog, and the prognosis is between the age of 45 and 60. Most of my vision will be gone. So I currently see through fog and have tunnel vision. That said, my journey began. I started writing in my teens when I was diagnosed, and I have books now, and that shaped me into the woman I am today, the person I am today. So the blindness doesn't define me, it's only a part of me. And I live authentically day by day, moment to moment. This is not just a message that I, you know,
Hmm.
just on the spur of the moment. Okay, I'm going to be authentic for the day. No, I'm going to be authentic all the time. And that said, is getting to why I'm talking to you. Is that in air quotes the challenge that I come across is that because of my vulnerability, because of the air quotes disability or whatever you want to call this, I get stomped on a lot. There's a lot of sharks out there. And with my, I love going on podcasts like yourself, just being a guest and interviewing and sharing my story, sharing my books. The problem is, and this has happened before, I've gotten invited to podcasts or interviews, and then they'd uninvite me because I'm having technical difficulties. Well, in my subjective mind, is that a technical difficulty or is that a blindness thing? Well, they tend to target like, oh, well, you're disabled, so it's not going to work out. So sorry. I know we invited you, but it's not going to work out. I've had this several times. So there's the challenge for me is that like here I am be walking my talk, being my authentic self, telling people to shine their light because I do that every day despite of this physical issue. I am
Right.
as human as anybody else. Yeah. So that's my so-called challenge is I'm calling you or talking to you about how can I make this better for me for both ends.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So first of all, thank you for sharing all that, right? And just
Yes.
kind of releasing that. Um, a couple questions running through my head right now. I think the first thing I'm really curious about is when you say that you're invited and you're uninvited, like tell me more about that.
Sure. So I was invited. This is of course a true story, but it was the producer who uninvited me. The interviewer, like, let's say it was you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not you, of course not. But no, not you at all. But it's let's say it's I don't know John. Okay, and John is the interviewer, right?
Right.
He invited me to be his guest, right? Then we went through a test drive of, does this work? New, unnew, whatever it was. And this was during the pandemic. Yes, it was during the pandemic. So I'm just trying to get that straight. Anyway, the point is that I wanted to test drive it. I know I take more time because I can't see, so I have to take more time. So I asked the interviewer, let's say John again,
Hmm.
can we do a test run? And he said, yeah, that should be no problem. He didn't think it'd be a problem with the producer. And so here I am with the producer. She's like, this is taking way too long. It's taking way too long. I don't think it's going to work. Sorry, we can't have you. So
Okay.
this was the test run. So it was, that's why I did it in the first place, right? So she felt comfortable enough to say, okay, it's not going to work. So
And
that's what happened.
how many times has this happened? Like, is this like a frequent thing or?
Oh yeah, I'm in air quotes. It's not the woe is me story. Let's get that straight.
Right.
I walk with my own. I stand tall. I'm a warrior woman, but I get bullied a lot, and it's and the irony is that I, because I shine my light, I know I'm an empath. I feel that's the third eye superpower that comes with this blindness. I feel everybody, right? I don't necessarily call people out, but I know exactly what's going on. The awareness is skyrocketing high. The point in what I'm trying to say is that I shine my light anyway. And there is the discrepancy. If they like other people, ABC people tend to project their shadow stuff upon me. Now I have a physical thing. I constantly work on it. It's constant for me.
Yeah.
So there's that challenge that people love, you know, who want, like, yes, we would love you, but then their shadow side comes in. Oh, she's too much for us. I don't know. Like, I shine brightly and I own it and I love myself. Why not?
Why not
Like,
indeed?
yeah,
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Before we hit the record button, did we have any technical issues?
no, no.
Have I bullied you or tried to like take your
Oh,
lunch
of
money
course
or
not. No,
put you in a noogie? All
no.
right. So the reason why I go there is because that story and that's happened to you. That's what you've experienced. But does it serve you to carry it with you anymore?
No, that's a really great point. It's a great point.
And yeah, I get it. Like, it's upsetting. I would be annoyed about it too, especially if it was something that was a intentional or unintentional slight because of a different ability or some technical challenge. My thought is wondering, or at least exploring the possibility of how do we, or if you're even open to it, how do we release that judgment of them? Because what they've done is what they've done, right?
Hmm.
There's nothing you can do about it anymore. But moving forward now, it's not these bag of bricks you carry along with you because you said you shine bright. It's hard to shine bright when you're carrying these shadows with you and carrying all this with you. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, it does. I just have one point, and I'm not trying to make any excuses. Let's explore this. A
yeah,
deeper thing with me is that let's face it, society thinks that I'm less than. I mean, one of my lines is in my writing is, I'm going blind, not brainless. So it's constantly this war with myself of trying to prove myself that I am capable, right? And this is my job. It's not even a job, it's my passion, right?
right.
I love speaking about my story. So there's the underlying current, if you would, of the feeling, not that they meant it, of always feeling like I'm less than, and them just stomping on me again. So that's the underlying current. I just want to point that out.
No, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And this less than, if it's all right to kind of steer in this direction,
sure.
you see, society has, or at least you perceive society thinking that you are less than. Like, what does that really mean?
Okay, so I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I'm a straight shooter. So ignorance is everywhere, right?
Hmm.
I do every day. It's a with for my all intents and purposes, it is a challenge every day. I call it an adventure. My friend and I were talking yesterday. He's like, call it an adventure. Besides my house, I'm going in unfamiliar territory after if I physically leave my home because I don't see, right? I
Right.
don't see properly. So everything is in air quotes, a challenge. Um, you know, putting toothpaste on a toothbrush. I can't see the toothbrush as well anymore. Just little things. So everything is a time consuming thing. Now, I respect people. I respect your time. I respect ABC person's time. So I know if I'm going to take my own take time, I like to do these test runs. Going back to the lady who uninvited me, the producer who uninvited me. It's the same thing. I'm like, let's do the test run because I know we might have some issues. Let's take care of this. And I was willing to take the time to do that. So that was that. That's done. But it's a constant thing. My point is the challenge of society saying that, oh, she doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I mean, it's evident. It's so evident, and it's constant. Just even living day to day to get my daily tasks done. But I'm a go getter. I will do it. It's just give me a chance. That's the frustration. That is the underlying current. Again, the frustration comes from me not feeling accepted. I accept me. I will do the work, but I can't change somebody else, right? I can only change myself. So let's work on that maybe.
What do you think what would be different if, quote unquote, society were to accept you? Like, what's that look like for you?
Just it's not like it's not a bending over backwards. I'm not a princess lady. I don't think of myself as, I deserve an entitlement, all of that. No, it's just I am a human being. I just live my life differently. Can you work with me? Can you adapt with me accordingly? I'm not, or teach me how to, I can teach you. I'll tell, it's about, goes back to boundaries. I will
Hmm.
tell a person what works for me, what doesn't work, because there's no one size fits all for blind people or anybody, or a female, a male, a speaker, an interviewer like you, a
Hmm.
coach. No, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So what do you want?
What do you, can you expand on that? What do I want?
Is it more acceptance of yourself, more acceptance, like more of the approval or acceptance from other people? Like, I just want to get an idea of like
Sure. Well,
where we're at.
I mean, I could handle the person walking down the street and being ignorant, so to speak. But when it comes to my passion, which is what I started from the first place, my speaking opportunities, they tend to go down because I feel that people, my whole point is to shine authentically with unconditional love for yourself. I have unconditional love for myself. Despite this outside external issue, I love myself anyway. And
Hmm.
anybody who knows me and is around me can feel that from me. So it's their shadow work that's projecting upon me. And then I'm in air quotes, what's the word? The target. I don't know, there could be another word for that, but like I'm the result of not getting, in air quotes, hired by somebody who wants to hear me speak, or a company, or an assembly at a school or whatever. Oh, it's just not going to work because this is just too hard in air.
Oh, got
Oh,
All right,
okay.
we're back. I
So
don't know what happened. It might have been my
it's
computer
okay.
that
Go ahead.
shorted out, so I missed definitely the last part of that where you were talking about the speaking opportunities, and then it just froze
Yep.
up.
Exactly. It just freezes up because of ABC thing. Now I've even considered, an assistant who has the vision, of
Hmm.
like helping me with that. And it's intermittently. It's never consistent, which, that goes with the, you don't have to be blind. I mean, it's anybody.
Yeah.
So I get that. But I'd liked more speaking opportunities because you know what? I'm the real deal, and you just hear me for 5 minutes. Just give me a chance. That's all I'm asking for. You're asking for what I want. Just give me a chance, ABC person. I just think that people just shut the door. Again, judge a book by its cover. Oh, I don't think it's going to work. It's not going to work for us, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Let me ask you this: have you been shutting the door on them? Like you've spoken about unconditional love for yourself and acceptance of yourself, but what I'm hearing, and maybe I'm on a different frequency,
sure.
is a bit of this judgment of the quote unquote them, right? The blanket them society out there who are potentially targeting you or leaving you out in the cold, right? Or not
Yeah.
fully embracing you. So, like, what are your thoughts about that?
I think you're right on. You have a point. You have a great point. And it is something that you are what you eat, right? You manifest, you reflect people towards you who are like you, and it's just been a very topsy-turvy time. Not to say that I'm not, I don't want to go backwards. I want to shift it. This is a great call. This is a great discussion.
All
Let's
right,
shift
so
this.
so I'm gonna cut
Yeah.
you off here. Let's move forward and like tell me if an opportunity were to come, you know, later today, what does that process look like of you setting that up and you and I guess you kind of gonna draw on from like other from past experiences, but what would make that conversation or that scheduling a lot easier for you, and that also works for that producer or event organizer, whatever.
Well, even just like this is a perfect example with you. Like, I get back on the train again, right? Like, just because something happens doesn't mean I don't try again. I tried with you and it worked, right? There's this. I think I was. There's a point to this. I was at this workshop, and this counselor, the guy said, there's always going to be somebody who says yes to you. There's always going to be somebody who says no to you. Go to those yes people, right? So I go back on the train. I'm my own cheerleader. I'm my own motivational speaker, right? Like you're the only one that could help you in a way,
Yeah.
right? So I love that, that you just welcome me with open arms, and several people have. It's not that. It's just something that comes, it clouds my inner, no pun intended, my vision, because of the fact that it's like I work so hard. I work so incredibly hard to be where I am today, and it doesn't come easy for me. I'm just going to be subjected here because I'm talking about
Yeah.
this person you're talking to, so like it's not easy. It's possible. Absolutely. Anything's possible. Right. But it's a little, again, it's a little battle and a war against myself because I try and then I get down and I try, I get down. And it's like, oh my God, this is exhausting. I feel sometimes like I'm on a merry-go-round
Mm.
at times. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can feel it. I can hear it, like the war, the push to pull, the battle back and forth. And I want to see like, hey, let's make a peace, a ceasefire, right?
Yes.
This
Yes.
shooting this
Yes.
idea down or attacking yourself or attacking this person, and let's just really look at like all right, you're a speaker, you're a coach. What does that even look like? Like, how often are you speaking, or do you intend to speak?
If I'm not speaking with this pandemic business, I'm doing recordings. Like I was invited, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago with it's an inspiring website. I forgot the name of it, but they actually they're called GEMS, GEM, and they're basically 2-minute MP3s that I go, I just talk for 2 minutes and then that's it. And then they record it and then they post it, and people all over the world hear that. And it's just inspiration for all. It's pretty cool deal. And like, that's just one avenue that I use, to just record whatever's on my mind. I have a recorder on my phone. And I just, whatever comes up. Because the writer in me, I think of things a lot faster than I could write. Um, you could probably understand that. So yeah, yeah. So I'm constantly, if I'm not speaking, I'm gathering my thoughts. There's a lot of epiphany, especially, no pain, no gain, right? That saying, like there's been those moments of sorrow, but you could make it into something very beautiful. I mean, how many musicians out there make some beautiful music and lyrics from some dark times. So, that's what I do. Is I'm constantly, it doesn't matter if I'm speaking or not, but the podcast, being on social media, helps me a lot as well, of getting out there. And my website, everything's on the website. I have videos, 2-minute clips. They're really easy. You have 2 minutes and you can just check out who I am, just get a glance of it.
Yeah. And what's that
Yeah.
response been like from people? Like, what have you heard from others who've experienced you?
It's a really good question. My first book came out October 19, and my second book came out last year. So I have two of my own books and two collaboratives. In 2.5 years, I have two collaboratives and two books. My point is 3 words for what people say. I'm very transparent, very honest, very courageous, and it's very heartfelt. I'm very heartfelt. All the stuff that I go through, I shift it, I transform it because I walk through the fire. I don't walk over it. I don't walk under it. I don't bury my feelings. I feel my feelings, and it's all in a wholesome way. If I can't talk to anybody, one of my methods, I talk to a wall. Get it out of my system, somehow, shape, or way or form. It
Yeah.
helps. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah,
Well, yeah. Transparent, courageous, honest. Yeah.
and heartfelt.
And heartfelt. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're booking these, I guess you would call it these speaking gigs, is that person in the room? Like, is that version of you setting that, having that conversation with these folks, right?
Yes.
I'm just curious, like that.
It is, because the main point of the game is, and it's on my website. One of the MP3s says it is that amlaspeaks.com is my website. But the point is it, everybody goes through a challenge, whether it's a 5-year-old, and I talk about this, whether a 5-year-old trying to tie their shoe, right? Or
Hmm.
you have a 105-year-old trying to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And in between, we all face a challenge, big or small. We are not immune to it as human beings. And there's the common way of and resonating with my audience, that you're not alone to take challenge. I'm not alone. I talk about this all the time. I have partial vision. I still can physically read an email, right? Talk to me to the day that I can't read my email. I'm still facing vision loss. But I
Hmm.
can't go there right now because I'm in the present moment. That's what I talk about with my audience. You're in the present moment, use it. You don't have the past, you don't have the future, you have now. But the past does help you reflect upon who you are today. It doesn't, again, define you. It's a part of you. So you have to explore those paths, owies, as they like to call them, ouchies, to understand where you are today. I'm living proof of that. And I share that with the world. My whole point is, the books are based on themes like facing loss and speaking your truth or being your authentic self, taking self-care. Those are all universal themes. That's not the blind lady just talking about it. So that's how I help people. I make it relatable to their needs, and everybody faces challenge, and that's my point.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what's coming up present for you right now? Like kind of tying back to the earlier
Yes,
question of like what would make this call useful for you? Like what's present for you with that thought?
I think I need to find ways. Let's go there a little bit of finding organizations who would love to have me speak for them, like who could really, gain some perspective and something,
Hmm.
where it's like, yeah, I mean, like that's what I'd love to do, is that with you.
All
Yes.
right. So have you spoken in front of any groups yet or at this point?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've spoken to 5-year-olds all the way to 85-year-olds
Okay.
all the time. It's just with this pandemic, it's I'm not going to say it's impossible again. It's possible. It's just different. It's just very
Yeah,
different.
it's just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So what groups do you have in mind? Like what would be like a home run, hell yes, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have fun, they're gonna get the best out of me, the best from me, and it's gonna be a great experience. Like what are you thinking?
I would like, as far as a corporate America needs that right now. I mean, it's not
Well, let's not go
everything has been.
blanket like corporate America society. Like, no, who's like what's the group?
Who's the group? More businessmen, because they constantly are go-getters, but they're not really. It's a really dog eat dog world out there. Take the time to be centered and be heartfelt and go into your mind, body, spirit, and take a pause. I think the go, go, go attitude, and no matter who you are, I mean, even in this pandemic, it's still like, who do you know? And who do you know? And who do you know? It's like, wait a second. Use discernment is my thing. And so, using discernment for me is, my target audience would be age 40 and above, pretty much, because you're not young where you think you're invincible, even with pandemic or no pandemic. You have a whole life ahead of you, that type of attitude. When you're 40, you've lived a little, 40 and above, and you've been challenged, and you take it's different strides to take in life, at that time frame of your
Okay.
life.
All
Yeah.
right. So you don't have to say anybody's specific name or give any details out, but is there somebody in your world right now that kind of matches that or reminds you of that kind of person, that go and could probably use
Yeah,
what you
yeah. I
offer?
mean, my sister happens to be a team leader. She's total opposite of me. And she's constantly go, go, go. And it's like, I don't see, and it shows, like, she's constantly stressed out. People need that. People need to be taught. I mean, in an environment like, a seminar or a webinar or a Zoom call, with corporate people, it'd be great. I think that'd be a great way to. It's something that they probably haven't even had even the time to even think of like, let's pause, let's connect with our hearts,
Okay.
rather than our ego and our minds all the time.
All right. So you said so your sister, right? Have you had a conversation with her about this, or like does she know what you do?
Oh yeah, she knows what I do. We no we And to answer your question really quickly, no, I have not talked. It's just came up, so yeah, no,
All right.
I could talk to her about it. Yeah.
So what would and now I'd like to, if you think it would be helpful, if you want to kind of practice role player of sorts. I'm curious, like what do you, and, and I don't mean this like as a pun because I always say it as like, what do you see? So it's not meant to be offensive for
No,
you with your
no, no,
vision, but
no,
like,
absolutely not.
but
You're
what do you see?
totally fine. You're
But what do you see
totally fine.
possible for her? You know, with you supporting her and maybe her team. Like, what do you think is on the other side for them?
I think it's, like, um, I'm just going to mention him. My mentor for me is this. Google him, Simon Sinek. If you have never heard of him,
Mhm.
it really is a team effort, right? To make it. Just because you're the CEO of a company doesn't mean you made the you're successful. The team makes you successful. It's everybody. It's all the busy bees, the hard workers who make it successful. So, bottom line, my sister, as far as what she does, she's a team leader. If there's more team effort and making it a more, in air quotes, relaxed environment, not so stressful, not so, I need this today, I need this 5 minutes ago, or whatever it was, you know calm down, and have that little practice. Simon talks about that a lot too. So it's a really great way to just shift the stress levels, and breathing, just
Mhm.
taking a minute to breathe. It doesn't have to be anything religious or spiritual at all, with especially, in the area that my sister works in. No, breath is breath. It has nothing to do with religion or race or anything. Yeah,
Mm.
breath is life. So yeah, I mean, I think with I mean, she would definitely benefit. A lot of people would benefit from it. And it doesn't have to be something so long. 5 minutes. I say this all the time. It's like, think about it. If you're at work and you're stressed out, is somebody gonna, like, wag their finger at you if you go to the bathroom and just take time, like 5 minutes, to just breathe? It's a great way to just take some time, breathe it out, and then come out again.
Mhm. And is it right if I kind of reflect this back for you real quick
Yeah.
before we play? How often are you doing that for yourself? Because I just want to like capture what I'm experiencing from your energy, like that kind of like wound up, like charged up, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in this space, you're looking to help her, your sister, we're talking about, and her team kind of slow down, calm down,
Yeah.
be grounded. And I want to just get an idea from you, like, all right, are you doing that for you? Like, are you
You
modeling
know
that
what?
for yourself? And you know what I mean? Because like your high energy, I can feel it, and it's like, all right, well, for you to do that for them, like let's
Oh,
do for
y-
self.
that's a great question, Alex. I'm telling you, when I talk about this stuff, I'm so passionate, as you could tell, right?
Yeah,
It's you could feel me, but I'm telling you, I practice every day. But when I'm
beautiful.
in this zone, I'm in the zone right now. I love this. I love talking about this. I get all fired up, charged up, all that stuff. But every night, I honest to God, as my witness, divine, whatever you want to call it, is that I turn off all tech, all of my gadgets at least an hour before going to bed. I sit down and I am just me and source, creator, supreme, and I'm breathing, doing some mantras for myself, doing all my techniques that I actually talk about,
Yeah,
because that makes me centered, and it's an everyday thing. One example is the Hawaiian prayer, that I always talk about. Is And the Hawaiian prayer is very simple: I love you, I forgive you, I'm grateful, I'm sorry, thank you. It's so simple. So if you say that for yourself and then project that out to the world, it's a great way to start the day. I do that all the time. I'm very grateful for what I do have. We're talking right now. Yeah, I'm
mhm,
charged up. Absolutely.
yeah. That's all right. So,
Yeah,
as I said, this would be like a full-on experience, like no different from what I would do with a client. So, I'm curious for you, are you open to playing a game?
sure.
All right. So, the game is simply this. Let's go talk to your sister.
Oh, she's in Dallas right now.
Okay, it's right now, we're on the East Coast. She's an hour behind, right?
Yeah, but she's the team lead. I don't know what she.
Well,
I don't. Can we? don't know.
What's what's going on for you right now? What's happening?
Well, it's just I don't. There's boundaries thing. Like she doesn't like to be disturbed when she's working, type of thing. And
Okay.
yeah,
So
that's
it may not
yeah.
be a phone call, but does she, are emails off limit to her? Is she
I
like,
could
Amla,
email.
don't you dare email me like I'm gonna put you in the spam box? Or will she receive it and maybe that's her choice whether she reads it or not, but what's this say that an email invitation isn't useful?
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, I can't do it. This vision issue, I can't do it right now, but
Okay.
I would do it definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because my thought is like, hey, I want to go from thought to action right away. And
yes,
even if it's a phone call or something like that, just so it takes it out of, well, I would love to speak with her because from what I gather, you've recognized these things, these challenges for her team for some time, but you haven't quite acted on it. And
no,
there'd be a place to explore, like, why, how come, or what's getting in the way of that,
it's a really
or
good question. I
you
just
just
thought
go,
about it with you today.
yeah,
It's a really good question. I'll
and
do it. I'm
and
up
that's the
for it.
thing. That's the thing when as you practice those things for yourself, right?
Yes,
It's opportunity now, like slowing down, like, all right, what are the opportunities really in front of me, rather than this person in the past, this producer, this experience that slighted me and did me wrong. Yeah, that's happened. That's done me wrong, and I'm not. Um, I don't want to make it a bigger deal than it is. Like, yeah, I'm sure it was painful. I'm sure it didn't feel
yeah,
good, but consider how many more people you have an opportunity to serve right now.
exactly. And can I just share something with you, Alex?
Yeah, share away.
Just by even talking to you, I feel so much better. Like it's good to talk about whatever that was. It was, and I'm moving forward now. I feel it within me. It's when you let go, there you go. You release and it's dissolved, and let's move forward. That's my attitude now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I have this rock in my hand. You may not be able to
Okay.
see it,
Yeah, I
but
can see the rock, but I don't know what. Does it say something?
yeah,
I
it
don't know.
says a couple things. So on one side, it was a gift from my daughter. She gave it to me. It
Oh,
says Daddy Rock number one. Very cute,
oh,
lovely. On the back of it, I carved in these initials LTSG. So let that shit go. Because the more I'm able to let go of, the more I'm able to receive. And
yes,
what I
yes,
see possible for you is, and if it's only a possibility, right?
yes, yes, sure.
Dropping any story, dropping anything about this person targeted me, this society going against me, this, them, me versus them. Well, how do we create that as a we?
Yes,
It
yes,
may not be them specifically, they may not be your people, that's fine. But inviting we and
yes.
then seeing what happens from there. What what can be created from there? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I love that. What can we create? We're all human beings at the same time. It's about forgiveness. You move forward, you move on. Let's create. I mean, for me, I want to go back out there just by talking to you. Like I'm ready to go. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what this was in air quotes, but I'm ready to be like whatever and stop with the stories. That's what's coming up for me. Stop with the storyland of whatever it was. This is a brand new moment, a brand new day, talking about the present moment.
Hmm.
Let's do it. Let me make my list. Let me go down the line of people that I know and really be like make the move, and it's all the attitude. If I have the attitude of gratitude and just being humble about it, I
Hmm.
think part of that storyland was of me not getting deals, even talking to you, was the story that I put in, like, oh, maybe it won't work. Well, it's you are what you eat again. I might have been manifesting what I didn't want versus what I do want. It's all about intention
Yeah.
talking to you. So that's what I want. I mean, even getting off the Zoom call with you and having this coaching session, I want to be out there. I want to just try it. And it's just shifted. I don't know what happened, but it's awesome. It's really cool talking to you.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
receive it, and as I tell anybody, it takes two to tango. So you brought it, and we create together.
Yes.
And with that idea of, you know, what people would say like outbound calls, outbound, prospecting, whatever, reaching out for opportunities,
Yes.
I can feel the wheels turn in your brain like, oh, talking to this person next. And that's really, at least in my experience, all it really comes down to is like, who's this person that I'm talking to now? And then who's the next person?
Yep.
If we can really simplify it down to that, because that's all it really is. You can only talk to one person at a time. And I'm curious now for you, as far as your intention of really even stronger, like your commitment for yourself,
Yes.
what do you want that to look like?
Well, I mean, I would love to do. I think tallying it up, having goals is important. Whether you reach it or not, that's a different story. But at least I was taught a while ago. Of course, you might already know this. Is that don't have like, what am I going to do for the day? And there's a zillion things you could do for the day, right?
Hmm.
If you have goals, you have your to-do tasks. So my to-do task would, number one would be, how many podcasts or how many interviews can I handle a week?
Right.
Okay, a week. And then it goes to, I can't worry about 2 weeks from now. Let's just do a week because I have a busy, crazy life. Everybody does. So
Yeah.
let's do the weekly thing, right? And make it practical. And let's work up towards that goal. It's Monday today, right?
Right.
So by Friday, by next week, it's Easter this coming weekend anyway. Maybe this is a great week to do that. So get my like 4 a week for next week. Let's let me gather 4 interviews, at least try to get some spots
Right.
for next week. That's the great way to start. And I think with me is just by talking to you and this conversation, it's important to say again. I want to say is the storyline. I was in that story of the past. And now, because I let it out, I am able, and I'm more enthusiastic and energetic and excited to move forward with this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
There's that go-getter in me. There's that, energizer bunny.
Yeah. Which Amla do you think is gonna connect more of the audience? Step one, who's in the background, who's thinking about all the wrong that's been done, or the go-getter, the person with focused vision? Right. I
Focus
know
vision
this.
and
Yeah.
yes, yes, and being my authentic self, because who can else? No, I don't want. There's no duplicate of me, and I love it. I love it. Like there's no duplicate of you. Own it. You rock it. Like rock who you are. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's the attitude that's going to bring me these people in. The right people come to me at the right time. Great. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's a great little affirmation for the day or for every moment for that matter.
Yeah. So everything is.
Opportunities come to you at the right time,
Yeah.
the right place.
I would even invite you to look at it this way. Opportunities are everywhere, clients are everywhere. It's now, am I slowed down enough to see it or to receive it? Can I
Yeah.
slow my mind down, my energy down just a little bit to recognize who in my orbit can I serve? I mean, up until today, your sister right here, blood, having these challenges, having these things that you help people with. Go
Yeah.
do what you're, go do your job. Help her.
Yeah.
At least make the invitation to extend the
Yes.
offer.
Yes. I like that. Yes. And what I hear you saying by slowing down is using discernment again, that word is that, I don't want to be in burnout mode either. Like there are clients everywhere. Yes. But at the same token, it's one of my lines in my Amla Speaks book is, you can't have a handshake without another person extending their hand back, right? You could reach out your hand,
Right.
but they have to extend their hand back to have a handshake, and that's an exchange with each other, a respect for one another, that we're a team here and we're here to help one another, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's how I think of things, of like, I don't want to be in burnout mode either. The word discernment comes up a lot for me in this conversation, because you choose wisely.
Yeah.
Don't just choose anybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And part of that too, of them reaching out for the handshake, is their trust, and
Yes.
feeling safe with you. And that
Yeah.
also starts with you, of like, do I trust myself? Am I safe and secure with myself? Am I open enough to receive this person in my space, or am I okay with letting them go? You talked
So
about
true.
boundary. Is your boundary with yourself too? That makes a difference.
Absolutely. So you hit it on the head with the trust. Absolutely. And that's something I was struggling with. That's great that you said that.
And tell me more about that.
Because the trust, again, with the stories of like, I've been let down so many times. So this person's gonna let me down too. So do I trust them?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like that attitude. I don't know what to do, like, oh, but it's faith in people. Like, if I didn't, I'd be a bitter blind. I'd be a really bitter blind lady if I didn't have faith in people and just give people another chance. It might not be, right away, but I get back up again. I'm like, you know what? Every person, there's 7.5 billion people out there. Not every person is going to do that, or be that with you, meaning myself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
yeah,
also a great opportunity to, what I say, you get to create those people, create them from your place of being, of, hey, my name is Amla Mehta. I speak, I coach, this is what I talk about, this is who I serve, and I want to be on your program, and this is what I think I can contribute.
yes.
That stance isn't going to offer that person on the other side to be like, oh, well, she's blind. She doesn't deserve to be on here. Like, their shift is, well, this is a powerful person who can make a difference for our audience and has something to say. How do we get her on here? Like right now, ASAP. Like, are you hearing that? Like, do you receive that?
Yes. Yes. And you know what comes up with me too is that, we a few moments ago we were talking about my goals of, like, let's say it's 4 times a week with getting, in air quotes, gigs, to
Yeah.
get places. But it's just also consistency. That word came up for me. Like, I don't want to, like, even when the things are so called down. I mean, there's highs and lows and there's plateaus in life, all sorts of things, but being consistent and not giving up. That's what I have to remind myself in this call, as well as just talking to you and our discussion. Um, I feel that when things are down, I just tend to, in the past, at least the past 3 months, just I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm just tired. But I have to keep the momentum going, and it doesn't have to be like right away, but I'm not going to wait months or even weeks anymore to do that. Just talk it out. If I have to talk to a wall, I'll do that to get through and move forward. So
Yeah.
I thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. No, thank you for receiving that. And I have another thought here. If it's all right, if I can share this with you.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, from that exchange right there, what I'm seeing is the trust that's not, the trust you're not creating for yourself is due to that lack of consistency, right? When I used to like play sports, when I used to box,
Okay.
I would go in, train X amount of times a week. And I would run X amount of miles a week and do all these different things.
Yes.
When I wasn't doing that, when there was like a day or two or a week that I took off and I kind of slacked off here, I didn't run this well, or I ate this. When you get in a ring and you have somebody trying to knock your head off, that's where these insecurities happen. Like, oh man, I didn't run. I don't know if I can keep this energy up for 3 rounds, 4 rounds. I don't know if I have this. I don't know if I can do it. And then we
Exactly.
start getting into the story of like, why did I do this? And anyway, I wonder for you, if you were to really trust yourself and really be consistent, like, what do you think was possible?
I think it's anything, infinite possibilities. That's what comes out. That's what pops up in my mind. If I trust and if I'm consistent, how can I not get what I want? Which is not just like the hooray of like likes, like social media, how many likes I have or what. It's more about
Yeah, we're
I
not
have
talking
a
about likes. I'm
message.
talking
I
about
want to help
impact.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 It's
So,
anything is possible with that attitude of the trust, the ingredients of trust and consistency. Yes. And loyalty and dedication.
yeah.
Because this is worth it. This is worth the self investment. My
Yeah.
brand is me. Of
And
course, I'm worth it.
I was gonna say, aren't you worth it?
Yeah,
Of course.
of course. Yes. I say yes. And it's just, I'm so grateful for this because who would have thought? I mean, and this is genuine, authentic Amla you're talking to right now. And it doesn't change because we get off the phone or get off the Zoom call. It's constant with me. It's just, and I'm so grateful for you and this talk and this discussion because so much has come out of it for me. Because it is, I just get out of the story, Amla. Just get out of it. Oh, just, yeah, let's move. Let's
Yeah.
go for it.
And it's not to make the story wrong, right? Like, not to judge it as like, oh, you're a bad story, but it's just simply a story that doesn't serve you.
Exactly.
It's not effective.
Exactly. And it's basically what you were saying before, even you were very respectfully trying to say it is it's like carrying baggages suitcases, all of, like of just stories. Do you need those bags of stories? Santa Claus bags,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a great image of it. Yeah.
yeah. No, you don't need, just drop it. It's that simple, just dropping it. In air quotes.
Yeah.
Once you've let it out, it's like, okay, it's ready to go. Release, dissolve, let go.
That's right. Just letting it go. Let that
Let
stuff
it
go.
go. Yeah. I love that. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
to move forward now, what is one tiny step that you want to be able to do to get you to
Um,
this place?
I just reaching out. I think what pops up for me is social media. I had opportunities and it's still in my inbox, honestly.
Okay.
So I got to do those. And not only that, but just being out there and just saying, hey, I'm Amla. How you doing today? And being me, like I've been in my little hermit mode for a long time now.
Yeah. How can
Because
anybody
let's face
find you
it,
if
I
you're
was
hiding?
scared. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's time to be out there. The spring has sprung. Right? So let's go for it. Let's the things blossom. And it's not because of the season either. It's just it's time for me to not be afraid of shining my light anyway, despite what other people think. Just shine on anyway. And there's a different way I said it when I even noticed my voice, my energy now versus at the beginning of this call. Yeah, I mean, like, just shine on anyway. I have to take my own words in and soak them in and just say, okay, somebody said no, but somebody else is gonna say yes to me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
That's right. Like you said yes to me having this call. End of story. You didn't, I didn't, we didn't dissect this. We're just like, okay, let's go for it. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Here it is. A few days later, we're on this call. Yeah.
That's the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
we get close to wrapping up, I'm curious for you, what's been most useful for you in this conversation?
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
What has been like the most useful,
Oh,
thing,
useful.
most useful insight for you?
I think your perception of me was on. You just helped me. You just walked with me on this journey. Of what how we began this call, the middle of this call, and now there's
Hmm.
this huge shift, right? And I think that's what's so beautiful about you. I think the trust is there because you allow open space for, at least I can only be subjective, for me to be me and all of me, and not saying, not going so like, why are you like, I don't feel any judgment in you, none of that. And it's just about open space and letting the person. I led you the way, and you just kind of walked with me on this journey of coaching, and it helped me so tremendously because you had some great questions as well, insightful questions, might I add. um,
Thank you. Yeah.
yes, it helped me to, oh, okay, I need to think about that. you know
Yeah.
It's a great
So,
rapport with you too. It is. I feel like it was an even exchange of just questions and listening and learning, and yeah,
no, thank you. Yeah. And
yes,
I appreciate that. I'll receive it all. I'll take it all. So love it. Thank you. And just kind of going back to that question of like, what do you see being the biggest difference for you now? Because it's about your life. It's about your opportunity to shine bright, like you
yes.
say.
So I think I'm going to go back to this a little bit. Is the book that I wrote, the first one especially, it was a memoir, so self-help book. It's really helped me only 2.5 years later, and it's still continuing to drop the story of blindness as well, is that I am more than that. I am, this is just something that's a part of me. It's like your leg, it's like my arm. It doesn't define me again. So it's really helped me to realize that I can do so much in this world, given the gift of and my words of having less physical eyesight. I have tremendous insight, and that I do, and that's what I want to shine with the world, and I am shining it. And I'm going to continue with that, whether somebody actually physically sees me or not, or if I physically see them or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to keep on shining my words, sharing my words, and being the light, the beaming, shining, loving being that I am. And that is what I want to project and reflect out to the world. It's going to continue.
Simply be that, and everything else will fall into place.
Absolutely. Because when you're the light, it's like a moth to the flame.
Hmm.
It really is. I've experienced this several times with the awakenings, the ebbs and flows of life, right? But I always come back. And this call, and I'm not just saying this, it's like the last 6 months have been pretty dark. It's like I had to go through a huge awakening, and it was not easy, but I got through it. It's like walking through a fire, you get through it. You don't get over it. I always say that. You get through things, you get through challenges. And everybody is able and capable of getting through any challenge. It might not be easy, but it's possible. Like you and I have been both talking about.
Yeah.
And nothing is impossible. And that's just the mindset. Anything is possible. It's just a matter of not only consistency, patience, And life is a process.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
embody that, you embrace it, and you live that message, and you'll be surprised at what comes to
Yep.
you. And I'd love to, keep me in the loop of like what happens with your sister. Like I'm really curious and interested to see like how you're able to support her and what comes out of it if she's open to it, and what you create with her and create for her.
Yes. And if it's not her, again, you go, it's somebody else. I have a couple of people as well, so I mean, I'm not saying that it's not. I want to actually work on the email today after this phone call. I mean, I'm going to go for it for
That's
sure.
it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Just
Yep.
do it.
And it's just the handshake thing. I'm reaching out my hand. We'll
The
see what happens.
worst you
Yeah.
can say is yes.
Yes. I love
I tease
that.
because now it's like, oh, I have to show and prove now.
Yeah.
They say yes, all right, now it's the real deal. No is easy to take. It's like, no, okay. Oh well. Yes. Wait, I have to show up. I have to do this. Now that stretches you into this next zone. There's plenty of things that I asked for and I received that I said people said yes to. It was like, oh, I didn't really think you were going to say yes, but here we are. Game on. Let's play.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. And it's even just saying, I have a 15-year-old techie girl. She's awesome. Really, she's my vision for me. She's my eyes, so she does a lot of tasks for me. And she always says, "You've got this, Miss Amla. You've got this." And it just puts me on such a different level, right? I love that. Just that little one thing. It makes me I'm sky high when she says that. You've got this. You've got this. You could do this. Yeah.
That's it.
I constantly say that to myself. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Amla,
Yeah.
I'd love for people to connect with you. Like, where can we find you? Where can we learn more about you?
Oh, thanks, Alex. So my website, I'll spell it out. It's Amla Speaks, AMLA Speaks, SPEAKS.com. And there's videos. I have another interview there, and just check it out. I have books, and reach out to me. Anyone who wants my help, I'm out there. I'd love to be your mentor, just be, your happy support for you in any situation. Let's talk. Let's
Let's
talk.
talk. That's it.
Yeah.
So, for everyone, this train ride has come to a close. Appreciate you, Amla, for playing and being open to this experience. And for you, the listener, if it's something that you're considering for yourself, you know where to find me, you know where to contact me, realalexdumas.com. And make sure you subscribe to Wake Up with Giants TV, because this is where we're airing it on. And we'll see you for the next train ride. So I say all the time, chugga chugga, love you, love you. Till next time, stay